Professor D.Sachs, the orator of the Tong public lecture 2012. I must confess I'm not used to having sex so early in the morning. Your program shows a brief write-up about sex. In a nutshell, he is a fantastic and outstanding economist. As a friend, he's a great human being. Confucius describes wisdom as when you are aware of what you know and to maintain that you know it. And when you do not, to acknowledge your ignorance. First, according to Confucius, a wise man reads and learns everything he can, and to suspend judgment when in doubt. He's cautious in what he says. In that way, his mistakes will be few. Second, a wise man widens his experience and is warned of hazardous places and always gives heed to where he wanders. In that way, he will seldom have occasion to regret. Third, a wise man lets experience guide his words, and my friend guides his words, and human being. What is so reflected in the write-up that you have before you is Jeff's character and his colorful career. I've known D.Sachs to be never afraid of controversy. Indeed, I think he welcomes it. I recall him confronting European unions during the first oil shock in the 70s, facing angry New York bankers over his proposed debt haircut in Latin America in the 80s, and confronting fighting fit Russian leftists when the USSR started to become more capitalist. That's the character of the man. Love sinking his teeth into the heart of crisis and sticking to his gun. When Jeff first published his book, his first book, The End of Poverty, in 2005, my friend Gerard Diamond, Pulitzer Prize-winning author of Guns, Germs, Steel and Collapse, called Jeff and myself that rare phenomenon. An academic economist famous for his practical work in helping poor countries become richer. Jeff wrote yet another bestseller 3 years later. Last year, he wrote his most recent bestseller, The Price of Civilization. By now, Jeff has become a seasoned author and a much sought-after speaker, having matured, in my view, from an accomplished academic economist to a wise problem solver. Confucius describes wisdom as when you are aware of what you know and to maintain that you know it, and when you do not, to acknowledge your ignorance. First, according to Confucius, a wise man reads and learns everything he can, and to suspend judgment when in doubt, is cautious in what he says. In that way, his mistakes will be few. Second, the wise man widens his experience, but is warned of hazardous places and always gives heed to where he wanders. In that way, he will seldom have occasion to regret. Third, a wise man lets experience guide his words and his actions. In that way, he let actions reinforce his words. That's the Jeff life. Ladies and gentlemen, That's why you will find his latest book to be wise in the ways of the world. It's down to earth and realistic about life. In it, Jeff warns that U.S. is experiencing the greatest degree of inequality among high-income democracies, where the top 1% of households takes almost 1/4 of all household income, a share not seen since the 1920s. The media has picked this up under the caption, and I quote, the greedy 1% versus the hard done by 99%. This widening gap between the rich and the poor places Jeff once again at the very center of controversy in the present U.S. election campaign. His conclusion that the United States needs highly effective government in the era of globalization. But he argues that governance needs to be modernized and be smart in order to be able to meet new challenges in the interconnected world economy. This remains hotly debated. But Jeff, in essence, is what I would consider a Confucian man of wisdom, who, as one, you always have something to say that is worth listening to. But men of words are not necessarily men of wisdom. He who cares for his countrymen needs to be bold, but the bold do not necessarily care for their families. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have as your speaker this morning a bold and principled one who is not afraid to innovate and expose fresh ideas to back up what he says. For his many contributions as a Harvard alumni, by the way, Jeff was more than 10 years my junior at Harvard, so I can take some liberty to say these things simply because he was my freshman. As a Harvard alumni, the Harvard Graduate School of Arts and Sciences Alumni Council, on which I was its chairman, awarded the Harvard Centennial Gold Medal to Jeff in 2007 for his many contributions for the betterment of mankind. Friends, many of you must be wondering why I walk hesitantly and my back is crooked. The fact is that I now have 10 titanium screws implanted on my lower back, held together by 2 8-inch titanium plates. So you can say, I'm screwed. But at least I was screwed voluntarily. In Jeff's latest book, he talks about what Time magazine now labels the screwed generation. That is, the young generation, aged 35 and below, was screwed not once, but twice over, whether they like it or not. First, their household income is down 68% from a quarter century ago. Second, the unemployment rate is 12 to 14% in the U.S., about double the national average, compared with 50% in Spain and Greece, 35% in Italy, and 20 to 22% in France and UK, but well above 8% in Germany. And third, this screwed generation is now loaded with huge debt, handed down by senior boomers to their offspring who will have to pay it off through higher taxes, less infrastructure and social spending, and the prospect of faithfully slow roll. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Professor D.Sachs, who will tell you more about how screwed the world is today, and about you never had it so bad